Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, we are waiting. We've got a long line of boats waiting to get into the pavilion yard here at Sam Rayburn. If you guys have ever been here, you know you got the main ramp here, and then you got the pavilion yard. Usually that's where the service crew and all that is. But we've got a bunch of activities that Bass has kind of scheduled us for. We're doing a boat check where I guess they're gonna go ahead and I'll turn off my blinkers real quick. I guess that's where they measure your electronics and make sure that you've only got one forward-facing transducer on your boat and all that, so you're in compliance with the new rules. I think it's up to 55 inches of graphs, or 50 something inch. They'll check my graphs and make sure that I'm in compliance, but I'm positive we are, because we're very careful about that. But anyways, yeah, just doing that. I didn't expect a line here, but that is pretty typical, at this ramp. But yeah, I ended up stopping at the Dam store, which is right next to Legendary Stump, the restaurant. It's actually where we went last night. So Matt Pangrack and Matt Steffen and I, we went out and enjoyed a meal at the Stump. And Panger got a 5-pound tray of crawfish, and he hammered that thing. So good for him. I got my usual steak. I usually just get the ribeye. Seems like kind of a safe order. But anyways, yeah, we just got done with practice yesterday, and now we're doing the activities here. We also do some headshots, and then they take pictures of your rig, and then we got the meeting this afternoon. But in between, we're going to be doing all kinds of things. We're going to be doing I'm going to do some video content, but also rigging. I mean, obviously, that's the number one thing. And honestly, I don't think that I've got a ton to rig. There's really only two things that I look to be doing tomorrow. I mean, I'll rig some other things, because there's some, like, I always have like some rods that I have something specific for in mind, and there's like one spot that I want to throw a Carolina rig on potentially and stuff like that. But really, in general, after practice, I told you guys, if you've been keeping up with my videos prior to the event, I told you that I was coming here focusing on my strengths. I will say that as far as a grade for practice, for my practice strategy and all that, I would have to give myself probably a D on this, because I really did not have a good practice. It was I kind of split my focus a little bit too much, because so what was going on is I was planning on fishing shallow. The first day I went up the river, immediately started catching fish, and they were like decent sized fish. And so I was really happy with that. But I was kind of seeing like a cap at like the 15-pound range. Like that would be a good day up there. And so we then started exploring, other regions of the lake that kind of fit my power fishing, shallow fishing style, and found that was pretty standard throughout. I mean, you could catch between 12 and 15 pounds pretty much at will anywhere on the lake. And so it was obvious to me that it was mostly like buck bass up there. I never caught a good female bass up shallow. And so, I obviously we need to be able to catch at least a couple big fish over 3 pounds a day to remain in contention. So I did end up going out and scoping a lot, picked up a minnow and just, went out there. It was more so, I would say, in the, it just kind of exploring that possibility, and also just trying to learn it, because everybody's reporting that they're just eating like crazy, as far as the scope and bite. and I want to learn it. So I went out there, and quite honestly, it seemed like it was kind of a transformative experience for me, because it was the first time that I really felt like I got a grasp on that whole scoping thing. But saying that, I didn't really get a grasp. It's not like I've got it figured out. I'm not dialed in, right? So I could go around and see the fish. Obviously, I can catch a lot of them, and a couple times I caught some decent fish, some good fish. And I found one area. I've only got one area that ended up having those 2 decent fish. So potentially I could start there in the tournament, and then go just fish, my strengths up shallow after that. So that's kind of what I found during practice. But the reason why I give myself such a low grade is because I really did not practice with conviction one way or the other. If you're going to be successful with fishing traditional techniques like I planned on, you better just focus on that. You better just go all in on that. If you want to scope, especially if you're not great at it, you need to go all in on that. And I just kind of split, my practice, and it was very, very inefficient. And, I still found enough to, up shallow. I eliminated a lot of areas. So I guess I should be happy with what I did as far as up shallow. But my scoping just did not, produce as many results as I really wanted. I caught plenty of fish, but I only found that one area that has decent fish floating around. And I feel like it's going to be an area where there's going to be a lot of other guys that are much better. So I'm really just hoping for 1 or 2 quality bites out of that area. Hey, we might get lucky. I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of the practice. If all else fails, I can go pick up a chatterbait and just start burning the bank. And I'm pretty positive I'll start catching fish. The biggest caveat to that statement, though, is that we're going to get freezing temperatures tonight. It's going to be 32 degrees overnight and 10 to 20 mile an hour winds tomorrow. Now, whether or not they cancel day 1, I don't know, but it's definitely on the table, because they upgraded the wind forecast. And so, yeah, I think that is definitely a possibility. But anyways, so far, I've been having fun. I'm definitely not in fighting shape like I was, before this hiatus. So, it's been good to get out and spend full days on the water, and it's definitely been good to come back to the house and hang out with friends. Matt, those dudes are fun to hang out with, and so definitely having a good time. But anyways, guys, we're about to pull into the pavilion here. Just wanted to give you guys a practice update. Overall, oh, and I forgot to mention, so I'm not going to be fishing up the river. So that was one thing that I did yesterday that I was happy with. I'm glad that I did it, because I had that on my mind. I was actually thinking that I was just going to go dedicate myself to fishing up the river. And yesterday it was dead as a doornail. And so, golly, those rumble strips are no joke. Yeah, so that I eliminated that, which is good. Whenever you're making like a long risky run, especially with the wind forecast, you want to be sure, absolutely sure, that that's going to produce. So we're not going to be doing that. We've got some other shallow areas that are much closer, much less of a risky proposition, and we're going to focus on that as far as our shallow bite. So anyways, guys, that's the report. We're almost there. Now we got some police officers directing us, fools, helping us out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Keep up with all the action. We'll be doing some more videos here at Sam RAYBURN. Wish me luck. We need it. Thanks, guys. I'm going to see you out on the water. Trust the process.